with another episode of the Blowboyz podcast. I am your host, Jeff Copeland, Dewey Jeff. Um, I want to give a shout out to Mark first and foremost because we were supposed to record together today, but they got away from us. So I'm gonna just record this episode on my own because I found some topics that I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We try and get into a better habit of just having those topics available as soon as we step in so we can make sure, you know what I'm saying, the episode is just not going all over the place. You feel me? But with that being said, today, let me see, what's today? What's today's date? Friday is May 8th, you know what I'm saying? In terms of what's going on with me, training is going well, you know what I'm saying? Just focused on that. There's a lot to talk about. I'll keep it, you know what I'm saying, keep updating throughout these videos or whatever the case may be. But I want to make sure I get here and I handle business. It's already a little bit later, so I want to make sure my conversation be fruitful and I'm getting right to the point of what I want to say. You feel me? So I'm gonna focus on that. Like I said, I got the topics available, and the first thing that is on my mind, right? I just made some content about this for TikTok. Is the preventative? Excuse me, that was about to be crazy. I'm about to say preventative health methodology, right? As I've been in the gym, as I have been training, as I have been, experiencing growth, whichever way, however it come, I recognize that preventative health is very, very important for me in the gym, right? And I don't know if that's the correct terminology for it, but when I think about it, I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to prevent injury from happening or to reduce the risk of injury for myself, and then that translates into for my athletes, right? The reason why this came up in my head today was because I was watching clips back from the football season, NFL specifically. You feel me? Um, Watching the playoffs and basketball a little bit here and there, and I be having a crazy amount of questions for the stuff that I have been seeing recently. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense to me. So where I'm gonna start at is the NBA, right? Start at the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics series, right? Jason Tatum should not be on the basketball court. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? You know he had the ruptured Achilles and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? He should not have been on the court whatsoever. That man did not look conditioned mentally or physically when it came to playing basketball right now. And that's not on him, for real, for real. I get that he wanted to get back on the court for his guys, but like for real, you really gotta look at the situation. You gotta look at the injury, and I don't think the metrics for his recovery were correct. Like I just don't think they were correct. I think they were more focused on getting him back on the court. You know what I'm saying? And trying to push him in that route so they could go somewhere further in the playoffs. And I'm like, bro, this is a great basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be sitting him and letting him go through it. You know what I'm saying? Because with that type of injury, bro, and the history that already, you know what I'm saying, makes itself available, people don't come back from that type of injury. You feel me? It's very low probability that you come back from an injury like that. So I was definitely a little shocked, but when I watched him play basketball, I'm like, he not moving how like we know him to move. You know what I'm saying? The other thing that gets me about NBA basketball and stuff like that is this is a $1 billion business, right? And we talking about preventative health and rehab and mobility and function, right? We touched a little bit on that, I believe, in the last episode. I'm looking at these basketball players, and it's like basketball players need to take games off. You know what I'm saying? I don't get me wrong. I believe rest is important. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I believe rest is very important. I believe getting enough rest, getting etiquette rest, will lead you in a way better way. Sleep is very, very important, and proper nutrition is also important as well. But I'm looking at these basketball teams, and I'm like, yo, the amount of people sitting out. I understand like there's a strap behind it. You sit your star players on nights where you don't really need them and stuff like that. But when I'm thinking about basketball, I'm like, are they sitting just because they're trying to get rest, or are they resting from something? Like, I look at the amount of injuries across like sports in general, and some of these things can be easily resolved before they even happen, given football players and trainers are having a better understanding of the body's functionality and how to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me take a second away. Let me take a second to get away from basketball, right? let's talk about football. There's one specific example of this that I want to refer to, and I want to talk about two different spectrums. Um, Jamar Chase, Cincinnati Bengals receiver, right? There's like a page on Instagram. I don't remember the name right now, but there's a guy who like helped Jamar Chase train his feet. Like basically talked about the foot, talked about how important it is for your foot to touch the ground, to hit the floor. It's the first uh portion of your body that touches the ground. It's the only portion of your body that touches the ground for the most part. And it's like that is not something that is like talked about in sports in general. You feel me? Like it's something that's crazy overlooked. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yo, your feet are so important. If your feet are not strong, you're going to have a tough time, especially with the way cleats are designed, the shoes that you wear in sad sports are designed. They're not good for your feet. So when you're not in your sport, you need to be training your feet, especially if you plan on going out there and staying healthy for the long run. Shout out Jamar Chase because the training they did for his feet. Shout out to the trainer too because it was very smart. They talked about where your ankle's supposed to sit when you run. All these things, like how it's supposed to propel your body, how it's going to help you run effectively. All these things that come from training your feet, right? That's one side of the spectrum, right? Green Bay Packers, Micah Parsons, tore his ACL. I think we talked about it. It was him pursuing a quarterback. I think that's so crazy that you're in the NFL. Mind you, this is not Micah Parsons' fault because nobody probably taught this man how important that was, or nobody taught NFL players how important it is to take care of your feet because the cleats that you're wearing are not good for your feet. Towards ACL pursuing a quarterback, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what's up with the trainers and the therapists and stuff that are supposedly in the organization for this team? Like, this is easily like resolved, giving you just have them train their feet. These guys are capable, big bodies, right? So I get that, you know what I'm saying, they're in the off season, they're banging with the weights and stuff like that, but these are the things that need to be uh paid attention to so guys don't get hurt and they can last and they can actually play and be on the field and make a difference and stuff like that. So when I'm thinking about it in that regard, I'm like, bro, how are we looking at sports at the highest levels? You know what I'm saying? And we got guys getting injured or guys needing rest for stuff like this. And mind you, there are, I guess you could say, good examples in sports too. Like there's not just the examples of guys just not taking care of themselves. Like I said, Jamar Chase. I know Mikal Bridges has played like a lot of games consecutively. I think he's on the New York Knicks. But realistically speaking, I think like we just need a better approach to like the Western world when it comes to um finding solutions for injuries or finding solutions for problems with the body. I look at a lot of Eastern medicine because they do be doing a lot of stuff that's like different. But I will say, from trying some of those things, from doing some of the drills that I have seen, body feels a lot better, a lot more malleable, a lot more functional, recovering a lot better when I'm not in the gym, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So I think like for real, somebody got to be held accountable, and I'm not here to say who, but I'm like the trainers. They definitely need more information, or they need some type of mechanism to bring about new information, studying outlets, whatever they need. You know what I'm saying? I'm just spitballing ideas because at this point I'm like, I know the internet is amazing, but it also could be detrimental. Like you could be on the internet learning a lot, or you could be on the internet becoming dumber. You know what I'm saying? It's all there. And that's why I'm like, when I look at these sports teams and stuff, I'm like, what's going on? Like, rather than spatting somebody's ankle because they say their ankles is terrible, just show them how to fix their ankles. Show them how to fix their feet so they have better response through the ankle and through the hip and stuff like that. Because that's another one. Hips in sports, there are some people who lack the functionality in the hips, and you could tell. You feel me? But that's a whole other conversation. I wanted to focus on the examples with the feet because the feet are so important for the human body. Like the stronger your feet, the less problems you have across the I guess you could say the tenure of your life. Like stronger feet, better shoe selection, all that type of stuff is going to help you out a lot. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing I wanted to talk about, we're going to completely pivot because it has nothing to do with the topic that I was just talking about, is being empathetic as a coach, and that's going to lead into me talking about being empathetic as a human being, being empathetic as a man, but also being able to balance being truthful at the same time, because this is a difficult balancing beam. And I'm saying I'm from the Biddy. I have been in a position where I was not empathetic with myself, and it did not allow me to be empathetic to the people that I cared about. You know what I'm saying? To the people that I've coached, all types of things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning. Like I'm still a learning man. You feel me? I'm not a perfect man. I'm a learning man. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I spend a lot of time these days having a conversation with myself that's very different from the conversation I had when I first started training. I first started lifting weights and when I first started playing sports, because I recognize that like goals don't have feelings, don't have emotions attached to them, excuse me. And I just recognized like there was a point in time in my life where like everything was about survival, and I was so hard on myself when it came to the things that I needed to do to move forward, to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept that as the focal point. And for real, I did myself a disservice. And as a 27-year-old man now, I'm recognizing I gotta work back a little bit. So let's get into the topic of just self-talk, right? So my self-talk before, when I played football, when I first started training, it was a little bit more along the lines of like, nigga, you don't get tired. Like, this is what you do. You don't get tired. No matter what it is, you don't get tired, nigga. Like, and I would say that to myself all the time. You feel me? And I would like basically say like things that did matter don't matter in the process of this. So like, yeah, you working hard and shit. Like, yeah, like right now, rest don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds crazy, but I know it's people that's going to watch this, you know what I'm saying, and be able to feel where I'm coming from with this. Because it's like, no, that's really how I was, you know what I'm saying? That's how I was talking to myself. Like, no, you don't get tired, bro. Like, regardless of what you're going through, you got to come out here and you got to execute. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of truth to that. Like, there's truth to that. But we're going to talk about how that changed, how that grew, and how that progressed as time went on. And I started to recognize things about myself. So, thinking to myself, like, yeah, I don't get tired, I don't get tired, blah, 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 blah. Work will get done. But I recognize, like, it was harder to meet people where they were because of how I was talking to myself. You feel me? I hold myself to a very high standard at all times. Shout out Seth, shout out Sully. We had some conversations today, and I really miss Seth, bro, because he a good soul, he a good spirit, and for real, he just reminded me of something so important while we was talking today, and this is the reason why it was so crucial that I talked about this on the podcast. He was like, "Yo, like Jeff, I've been training around y'all, bro, for a long time. Like me and Sully, he been training around us for a long time." And he was just like, "You." I told him right before he said this to me, I'm like, "Bro, I am not good at giving myself credit for the good that I do. I've never been good at it. You feel me? Because I'm always like, there's just more work to do." And he said I used to piss him off because I would make posts and post my training. You feel me? And he said he would watch the lift and it'd be some weight. It'd be something heavy. You feel me? And he'd be like, I already know how the caption about to look. Like you about to say something about the weight, and then you gonna say how you need to be doing more and you need to be doing better. And I'm like, damn, he not telling no lies, cause that's really how I be coming. Like when I get to the crib, I don't even spend too much time watching my own training, cause I'm like, yeah, I'm finna do it better next week. Don't even worry about it. Post it, get it out there, leave it there. It's cool. You feel me? Next play. Like that's how I was always thinking about it. But he reminded me that like, bro, it's okay to look at yourself and to be content with the body of work, especially when you working so hard to change. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the growth through numbers, through the way that you feel, anything. So really appreciated that, because like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's still difficult for me these days. Like I'm type of boy, man, I just get up, I'm ready to work. Like regardless of how I feel, regardless of what's going on, I know there's a job that needs to be done and I'm gonna do my best to do it. You feel me? I'm gonna give my effort every time I touch it. Feel me? So with that being said, we're going to talk about the translation of how I talk to myself now and how that has helped me with clients, with people that I love, people that I care about, my parents, my folks, like my sisters, my cousins, my brothers, my uncles, all that. You feel me? Nowadays, I walk into the gym, you feel me, and I'll be like, okay, let's get warmed up. Boom, I start warming up. I might start feeling tired soon as I start warming up. From there, right? I like to recommit to my commitments, so to say, right then and there. So I'm like, damn, okay. I'm tired. I can feel it, body tired, use a lot of energy during the day, working, you know what I'm saying, full time, whatever. And then I think to myself, like, okay, you tired. Completely understandable, Jeff. Like, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to be irritable. It's okay to be in a mood, whatever that mood may be. You know what I'm saying? But are the goals that you set for yourself more important than the rest and the way that you feel right now? Because I'm like, you could go home. You don't have to be here. You don't have to train. You don't have to come put in that pain to get where you're trying to get. You can go home and you could chill. You feel me? But what's important to you? You know what I'm saying? Is the growth important to you or how you feel in this very moment? Is that more important to you? And once I started getting into the habit of asking myself that question, it allowed me a easier pathway to not only talk to others but to also understand others as well. Mind you, I'm still learning, dog. Like I'm still learning. There's so many different situations where you could be empathetic. You know what I'm saying? I still struggle. I still fail with that, and I'm not afraid to talk about it because I enjoy getting better at things. I enjoy that. Like there's a lot of things that I do in the gym now with the time that I have solely around the fact that number one, I don't like to do it and I recognize I need to get better at it. And this is something that's outside the gym that I recognize I need to get better at. So I think to myself in that regard, and I'm like, okay, you have a decision to make. And every time I recognize there's a decision to be made, I make the decision to just keep moving forward. And that's something I could be proud of with myself. Because I could just go home. I could be like, man, this shit y'all. You feel me? I could just go to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Lay on the couch, scroll, and just fall back. You feel me? Get the rest that I might need. But at the same time, it's like there's a certain standard that I want to uphold. And at the same time, being empathetic with myself is important, but also being real about my situation is important too. So it has been allowing me to basically communicate with my athletes better. Like I love the fact that like, you know, we are all well, I'm not gonna speak for myself because there was a point where I wasn't, but I love the fact that athletes that I have worked with, people that I have come across, excuse me, are self-aware. Like you know, I'm tired. I don't feel well. I'm sick of this. I don't like how it feels. This, that, and the third. It's important to be self-aware, but that self-awareness also should take place when we talk about what's the goal here. You know what I'm saying? Which one is more important right now? And for real, I'm recognizing that just like me, just like a lot of people, man, we just want to be heard. Don't got to be heard by everybody, but we just want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. I don't complain too often, but if I do have anything that I want to say and it's in line with complaining, I just get it off my chest and then I look to be productive with my complaining. Like, you know what, I'm tired, but I'm gonna still go do this. Like I try to add that but statement at the end if I'm gonna complain about anything. You feel me? So it has been helping out a ton. Like I'm a guy, right? I want to have a family someday. I wanna have a wife, some kids, a couple dogs. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So when I think about this right now and the decision I make to be empathetic with myself in the gym, I recognize that a lot of the stuff in the gym that we do, man, it directly translates into other areas of our lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of being able to define these things and create metrics and then build a routine, build a structure that's going to allow you to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So that's how everything ties into it at the end of the day when it comes to that. Um, Damn, we ain't even at 20 minutes yet. That's a good joint. This episode gonna be a little bit shorter. I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as possible because I also I'm a little tired. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm still getting him done. You feel me? The last thing I want to talk about, I almost forgot the topic, is taking advice and the fruit that we bear. Right? This will make sense when I get done talking about it, but definitely want to talk about this one. So, taking advice, right? Plain and simple. You want to be a millionaire? You get advice from a millionaire. You want to be strong? You get advice from somebody that's strong. Mind you, I recognize that there are many different situations in this world, right? In my personal opinion, if I want to be $1 million man and I'm talking to somebody and they talking to me about how to make a lot of money or do this or do that, if you have good advice, you know, logical, sound advice, definitely gonna listen. Like I'm not the type of bull, you know what I'm saying, to look at somebody and immediately write off what they gonna say. Never been that because, excuse me, I've gotten great advice from some amazing people that did not look like they were going to give me good advice. No cap. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I'll never judge a book by its cover because I know how I get. I've gotten some solid advice. I've probably gotten some, I probably got a good amount of advice in my life from homeless people. Like, not even joking. Like, growing up, you know what I'm saying? Not so nice area that I grew up in, and just listening to the old heads talk, they be having some solid advice. And sometimes it may not necessarily be how to be successful, but it be like things you just shouldn't do. Appreciate that. Advice comes from anywhere, I'm willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? In this case, though, we talking about being productive or moving forward or growing or something. It's like I go to the gym, I'm listening to somebody talk to me about whatever they got going on or the training that I got going on or whatever I need advice about. You know what I'm saying? If I hear your advice and it's logical, I'm gonna give it some thought. But then I'm gonna also look at the fruit that you bear. You feel me? What are you doing? Are you taking your own advice? Because that's one of the things that I look for immediately. Like, okay, if you telling me something, are you doing it or did you hear somebody else talk about doing it? Have you tried it yet? Have you tested it yet? Have you tried it on yourself yet? You feel me? I ask those questions because I don't think it's logical to take advice from somebody that's nowhere near where you try and get at. You know what I mean? And like I said, that's just a opinion of mine, and I don't want my opinion to be like the end all be all. There are plenty different experiences in this world, and I understand that people may have different anecdotes than me. But I will say, like, most of the people I've gotten advice from, they've probably done whatever I'm asking about 1,000 times. They probably have a really good recollection or experience or information or knowledge with whatever topic that is. And, you know, you can tell, you can feel it when you conversing with these people, when you basically getting that layout from them. You see, like, okay, they've been in it. And then also, too, I love when people give advice and they also use, like I said, the personal anecdotes. They may give you the advice that you was looking for or the advice that you may have sought, but at the same time they'll put a spin on it and they'll add like a more personal experience to something that happened, just so you can have an idea of what to look for when those things may or may not come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all like genuinely unique people, but at the same time, like, there is a lot of similarity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we've all been on the gram and we've seen an Instagram reel, and it might be somebody like talking about something they did as a kid, and it's like, bro, you thought you was the only person in the world that did that. No, that's not how it works. 9 times out of 10, all of us came from some some similar brain cell. Like, it's just so many things I can't even name nothing. But that's how I look at it. It's like, if I'm getting advice from somebody, I would like the advice to be tried, tested, and to have some truth behind it. And I feel like when the advice is something that a lot of people could agree to, but it's not necessarily equivalent. Like, when it's something that uh 40 people can agree on, but they all have their own personal anecdotes, I believe that is very solid advice. That's something that I look forward to. Like, when I'm listening and I'm talking to people, I'm trying to learn something new. That's something that I like to see. That's like something I like to look for when I'm getting advice. You feel me? I don't want to waste my time, so I'm trying my best to filter information and be discerning as possible when it comes to getting advice, listening to people talk, so on and so forth. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, I sit down and I watch a lot of podcasts about training. I watch a lot of podcasts just about mental health and listening to people speak, and I'm like, what's your background? Where you coming from? What type of anecdotes do you have? Like, and I'm listening because it's easy to fish out BS. You know what I'm saying? At least for me, it is. Like, I've been on this earth for a while, and I've heard BS a lot of my life. You feel me? So I understand how to move that out the way and get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to get to if I'm listening to something. Like, find the points that I need, take that information and use it to grow somehow, some way, use it to progress. And when it comes to the gym, it's even more, like, I guess you could say, stringent now. It's a little bit more critical for me because the time in the gym is limited. Like, when I go in the gym, I'm trying to do something that I know is going to help me grow. Excuse me. Put me in a better position. And I understand that most of the things that I'm gonna be doing, they might be new, but I'm just looking to get as good at them as I possibly can, and just make the most out of that process with whatever I find and whatever that I learn. You feel me? So, with that being said, we closing in on 25 minutes for this particular episode. I ain't gonna lie, looking back at the episode, I felt like I was all over the place, and I ain't even edited. I ain't do nothing yet, but like I said, I'm tired and I want to make sure I get these up and out. I want to make sure I stay as consistent as possible. Um, just getting these topics together, making sure we on point for y'all, and just being consistent, man. That's the biggest thing. Is just being consistent. Like even if I got on here and the episode was 10 minutes, I was gonna do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to see this grow, see this build, and see it take shape in a particular way. I don't know how it's gonna look, but we're gonna figure it out. But if you like what you've seen today, please like, comment, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Send to your folks. Let them know we got productivity talks over here. You feel me? Training and life aspects that translate from training. So love y'all. I'll at y'all next time. Peace.